everyone. Hope everybody had a wonderful day yesterday and hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. And yes, Hollows, you are first. You beat even me. Anyway, yesterday we actually did some fun work here in Minecraft. We went ahead and got this road put in and just in general got some more quality of life stuff put in to make it easier to get around our ever-expanding base. Today, however, I wanted to go through and I wanted to beat it up. One of the things that I'd commented on yesterday was that there are various other blocks that are available to try and make this look like it's a little bit more worn, which is what I wanted to do with some of the parts here, so that way it didn't look so pristine. And then also, I was looking at this today and yesterday, and I want to go through and I think go ahead and take out a couple of these straight sections and wind them down the hill just a little bit more. So in the case of this chunk here, actually bring it down and around so that it meets back up over here. And then as we come back down, maybe do the same again for this chunk, or actually have it come down just a little bit and then snake back down and around here until we get down to this last little bit, which can then come down this hill and come out here. So some ideas that I want to work on at some point today. Just in general, a lot of decoration and building. And then also see about starting to set up the farming area and getting some wheat planted and whatnot, and kind of lean into that next step as well. But first, we have some work to do back at the base. Also, we are... like, the mob farm is working. It's slow, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that only so many mobs are spawning at a time. And not getting pushed into the water troughs, or not finding their way into the water troughs as quickly as they could. But that's okay. We'll get there eventually. All right, for here, let's actually drop off our wheat seeds, our flowers, and saplings. Need that. Let's see. I will hold on to the rest of that stuff because I'm going to need the extra dirt. But I wanted to throw some of these stone bricks. Actually, I can just do that. Nice thing about that. Grab some of this cobblestone. Stone brick slabs will be useful. Stone and stone bricks. And then vertical stone slabs for that stuff. And that should be good. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that. If your animals can see the bottom of their food dish, something is obviously wrong. So here we are, back up here. And one of the first steps that I can do to make this look like it's a bit beat up is we can actually go ahead and knock out this. I know, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take... where is it? There it is. We take this block here, one of those, and then pop my dirt in here, grab a couple of these, and make it look like one of the pieces fell off. And then we'll put the lantern next to it, like the lantern fell off as well. And this just kind of helps sell the idea that this is a slightly older section. Put cracked stuff in there. There we go. Awesome. Then we can take some of our cobblestone and put it in here. I don't have any cobblestone slabs on me, but that's okay. We'll rough up some more of these parts. And this really just helps to add a little bit of character to these areas. Oh, that's the other thing, is we need to go to the jungle to go get some vines, because I don't have any on hand at the moment. Or do I have any room? So let's drop you in there. And then I need... There we go. Drop some of our stuff off in here. Need all of that. Cool. All right. We're going to take a little trip up north. I do have my shears. Okay, good. Wanted to make sure I had them. So we're going to go boat up north for a little bit, as I want to go grab some vines. The vines will be useful because I can use them for decoration, but also so that way I can add them to cobblestone and we can get some mossy cobble out of it, or mossy stone, or vine covered stone, or just, you know, TikTok. But let's get run up here. And the boat is actually just up north, which I should move that, because I now have a much easier way to get around. So if we just come down here real quick. And down this way. Oops, forgot something. There we go. If we just come down this way. Yeah, I should clear this out here. And in that way, I can start making this into a dockable area. Since that has some extra space. Also clear out some of that. But nice thing about driving while it's peaceful, boating while it's peaceful. Yeah, that's the stuff that'll wake you up. Yeah, man, last night was funny. So I went to bed kind of early and was asleep for quite a while until about I want to say maybe midnight-ish. I get up and I'm awake, surfing the internet, playing some games. Spent like an hour or two doom scrolling on YouTube shorts. You know, the usual sort of stuff when you have issues going back to bed. About 4 o'clock, I get up, refill my water. And as I come upstairs and I enter the foyer, I look upstairs because we have a split level house. I look upstairs and I notice my sister's light was on because she usually keeps her door open to allow airflow through. It gets kind of warm up there. But then I also look at the bottom of my mom's door and her light was on too. So at 4 in the morning, all three of us were awake. And I imagine all three of us were watching YouTube because that's just what we do. I have no problems with airflow. I have a fan over there, and then I have a little fan over here next to me on the other side that allows plenty of airflow. So I have no problem with that. And because I'm basically in the basement, it stays nice and cool. So I got no problems. Oh, it's plenty. This little fan, real talk, is surprisingly powerful. It throws air farther and with more pressure than my big ass box fan that I have. I'm like, you know what? I like this little fan. Let's see where we're at. Okay, we are going the right way. In fact, we should be coming across the temple at some point. Yeah, there it is down there. Temple. Actually, we could go investigate the temple. There's the front of it. This doesn't look creepy at all. This is why I'm glad I have the oh yeah, that's not going to work at all. The tank, the copper tank. Gold. Not that I really need it. No. Let's see. Sea lanterns. I will say, though, that this tank is incredibly useful because of the fact that it does mean that you can sit down here longer. Like, I know there's a water breathing potion, but it's not the same. Oh, yeah, give me that block. And why, hello there. Supposed to be. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. I think I have one of the parts for it, though. Let's see. Condensed milk bucket. Okay, that's from something else. But yeah. Not too bad. How about yourself? How's today treating you? I actually need to be in here right now because there's nothing in here that I need. Jesus. Well, you know, at least you've got job security, so there's that. So, boom. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, man, this whole thing with collective shout has been getting really interesting. So, if you're not familiar, or you just haven't been able to pay attention or keep up with things, it's been about a month now, going on a month, where a feminist rights group or feminist group, I don't even think they're feminist rights at this point, just feminist group out of Australia called Collective Shout has been after Steam for some time. Steam is in where we get our video games from. They specifically have had a hard on for trying to get all sorts of games pulled from Steam. They have written multiple letters, and Steam has just said, if it's not illegal, we don't care. Valid. Their job is not to police things. Their job is simply to be a storefront. Cool. Well, Collective Shout did not like that, and so they took it up to the next level, and basically they went behind Valve's back. Yeah, exactly. The bat, and most of them are these days. But they went behind Valve's back, and they went to the next level up. And you would think, oh, they went to the American government. No, they went and talked to the wallet. Specifically, they went and harassed the shit out of MasterCard, and I don't know why I'm going anywhere else. They went to MasterCard and they went to Visa and harassed them enough and basically said, what Valve is doing is illegal. You need to end it immediately, which is not true. It's not illegal in the slightest. And so because of that, looks like I have to do it one by one. Cool. So because of that, Visa and MasterCard immediately went, well, because this is illegal, which it's not, if you guys don't pull it from your storefronts, we are going to debank you. Basically, you will no longer be able to do business with us. And Valve is like, well, we value money, and so we have to capitulate for now. Now, of course, Visa and MasterCard have gotten in trouble for this. And on top of that, there are some interesting additional things that have come to light. Now, I'm not sure how true they all hold, but a few things that have happened. First, because Collective Shout got such huge backlash for their bullshit play here by trying to get rid of the video games, and they're not just against like porn games, which is mostly what got attacked at this point in time. They're against all video games. They have gone after like GTA, Detroit Become Human, and a whole laundry list of other games, all because they feel like they glorify violence against women, which is not true. If you've ever played GTA, it glorifies violence against everybody. I don't think anybody has specifically just been like, I'm only going to kill women in GTA. No, it's literally violence against everybody. So there's that. Exactly. What, you think women are special? Fuck no. Everybody's a target. So there's that. Let's get some jungle wood here. Oh, that's beautiful. So the other game that they're, so to continue, One of the other things that they obviously did was they pissed off a whole bunch of gamers. And the idiots at Collective Shout pissed off the gamers, then went and bragged about the fact that they did this. They're like, look at what we did. It's because of us that your favorite pastime and hobby is threatened. And what happens when you threaten somebody's hobby? They get angry. So that's what gamers did. Gamers got angry. They started, I know, right? They started going after Collective Shout on Twitter, basically ripping them a new one. And then they started going through and tearing apart Collective Shout's entire shtick. And specifically started noticing that Collective Shout defends the movie Cuties, which is not unanimously, but mostly understood to be a terrible movie that is exploitative of children. And especially funny considering what the subject matter of Cuties is. Cuties, Cuties. It was on Netflix. It was that movie that came out a few years back where it was about this group of young girls in like the 9 to 13-year-old range in France who were being, they were essentially being sexualized at a young age. And it was a creepy movie. Not like the subject matter would have been a good story if it didn't fall into its own trap. Because it also went through and sexualized the girls, and everybody's like, oh God, this is terrible. And it just wasn't a good movie anyway. But besides that, the members, in fact, the head of Collective Shout is a 60-plus-year-old woman who's just very angry at the world. She's the one specifically that seems to hate video games the most. But they went through and they've defended Cuties, and everybody's like, oh, so you're that type of person. And they've had multiple women who are in the gaming sphere come out and be like, what are you doing? We like these games too. And as soon as any woman comes out and says or defends gaming as a whole, then Collective Shout will lose their shit, call them men, and then block them, or just not respond to them at all. But if it's a male account on Twitter, they'll call them misogynistic and all sorts of other horrible things, and then block them. It's just like, what? And then turn around and act like the victim in all of this. The number of times that they've acted like they've been harassed unrealistically. It's like, you are a public-facing entity. You are going to get harassed, especially when you do something like this. Honestly, at this point, I don't think she has grandkids, because that means she had to have had kids, and I don't think she's the type who had children. I'm not saying I know for certain. It's a feeling. All right, Dolphin. What do you want? I don't got no fish. I'm sorry, buddy. This dolphin has been like, go home. Oh no, don't get me wrong. I understand the power of crazy. I've had more than a few myself. But yeah. So anyway, they really do. They really shouldn't. So anyway, after all of that went down, Collective Shout went dark on the internet as much as possible, because basically they fucked around and they were finding out. So one of the big things is that somebody brought up in a comment that I saw on a video that Collective Shout should technically get in trouble with the United States because of two major factors. First of all, they are an Australian-based organization, which means that they are not local or domestic to America. However, due to their actions, they have actually influenced American companies. And so technically, that could fall under what's called FARA, F-A-R-A. Foreign agent something or other. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up again. But basically, they should be registering as FARAs, foreign agents. And specifically, they should be kept to those specific standards. And so if they're not registering as a foreign agent, but they are acting upon domestic agencies. Yes, thank you. Yeah, just about. So because of the fact that they are acting upon American agencies, which Visa and MasterCard are headquartered and originally from the United States, even though they are global in scope, their headquarters are here in the United States, which makes them a US-based company. That means that they have, in bad faith, acted on or acted to impose foreign laws, technically, on domestic agents, which is a big no-no. And in fact, if it wasn't for all the other BS that the government is going through right now, which, oh my God, they're literally running like every single distraction operation that they can come up with at this point in time. We thought 2020 was bad. 2025 is just like, listen, we've already used the kitchen sink. What else do we have left that we can distract people with? So that aside, but this whole collective shout thing has then snowballed even further, because the next step after this is that with all of the criticism that collective shout has gotten, and with the fact that so many people are pissed at them and worried about what they're attempting to do, they have been very critical of collective shout. So what does collective shout do? They go whining both to, the online hate something or other. It's an agency, or it's a volunteer group that specifically looks at online hate and threats and stuff like that, and attempts to mitigate that as much as possible. It's stupid bullshit. Welcome to the internet. Just go to any Call of Duty lobby and you will find enough hate for an entire lifetime. Basically, yeah. But this PR firm is now attempting to work with trying to get the UN, United Nations, involved, as well as Interpol, in finding the harassers and getting them arrested via their local agencies themselves. So if somebody's in the US sending harassing messages, then Interpol is supposed to send the local authorities there in the United States to arrest them. And it's like, you see, there's some big logic holes there. First of all, you're basically finding out that you done fucked up. You put yourselves in a position where you pissed off a whole bunch of people. You are working to take things away from them, and you're also hurting a lot of people economically in a time where we can't afford to be hurting economically. Hey, cow. And then on top of that, you constantly cry wolf and victim anytime that the repercussions of your actions come back to bite you in the ass. and you wonder why people are harassing you. Gee, let me think. Where did I leave my trees? Oh God, I can just imagine. Yay, I love the steps. I'm so glad I put those in yesterday. It makes all of this so much easier. So at the end of all of this, because some really angry people, oh, here's another fun one. Another great example of you probably shouldn't be selling yourselves as one thing when you're not. Collective Shout also tried to tell the internet, and this is dumb. This is how you know that they're not as tech savvy as they like to think they are. Collective Shout went and told the internet that they are in an entirely female group. Their whole board is female. Everybody who volunteers is female. They're all an all-women group. All 1,000 members of Collective Shout are women. All it took was for one woman, not part of Collective Shout, just one woman on the internet. She went through and looked at their website and found that they have a list of their board of directors, and like more than half of them are men. This is like, so all these men, I mean women, are part of Collective Shout, right? It's like, how are you this dumb consistently? That's a special level of dumb right there. And they just keep burying themselves more and more. And this is part of the reason why Trump went through and signed the executive order against being able to debank companies for moral reasons. So one of the big issues was that Visa and MasterCard are saying, or trying to tell people, well, we didn't do it for moral reasons. We did it because they have this illegal content, which is false. They don't. It was not illegal at the time. It is still not illegal. Therefore, these guys are full of shit. And so that's why there's been some executive orders to come through, and I believe there's even being a bill worked on over it. So all of this stuff is coming out. Collective Shout is basically now collective shit. I'm just doing some basic tree growing, only because of the fact that that way I can throw some vines on them and start harvesting vines. Because I already have a wood farm. Don't need more wood in that respect. Just need places to grow vines. That way I can start turning the vines into the mossy stuff. So, yeah. Tell you what, I'm ready for 2025 to be done with, honestly. I know we still have a few months to go, but I'm done with this year. I really am. It's been too much of a fucking roller coaster. And that's not even all the other BS political stuff that's been going on. Man, you shut the hell up, Matt. No. 26 is not allowed to be worse. Oh, man. We'll definitely see, though. Anyway, I don't need the jungle logs at the moment, or the gold. I do need stone bricks, stone, cobblestone, and dirt. Oh, and wood. I hate to break it to you, but Christmas starts at the end of August. Always has. Unfortunately. It's true, though. Like, we don't even make it all the way through October before the Christmas music starts kind of trickling in. Oh, damn, those trees grew quick. Okay. Let's go vine our trees. It's kind of hard to tell where the vines are at with the... You weren't there a second ago. That's true. Actually, my floorboards are always squeaky, honestly. Old house, wood floors. Like, Jesus. The trees are trying to kill me now. Like, you honestly, you would have to basically weigh, well, you'd have to weigh as much as the cats in order to be able to sneak in this house. Let's put it that way. And honestly, you'd have to weigh as much as Smudge or Nibbler, because generally we can hear Runt or Taz walking down the stairs. Yeah, some cats just are. Yeah, fortunately, it wasn't the chicken that was trying to kill me this time. Take the stone slabs and let's do some more work here. So, I wanted to look at... Yep. Not saying she's fat, but damn, that girl is heavy. Let's do that there. And a bit of stone. And then I need the cracked version. There we go. Oh. I wanted the cracked version. And do I have... I mean, I know I do, but where are they at? Aha! Walk on the walls. Mom, why are the walls creaky? There we go. I actually, yeah, that works out really well. We use some vertical slabs. Make it look like pieces are missing. One of the other tricks that I like to use is do some of the stone brick stairs. That will also help. You out of the way. Actually, we'll just put you there. Put the hoe aside. And then, cool. Okay. It really does. And it's a really useful tool. Sorry, Matt. But I just don't have room for a hoe in my life right now. Needed the stairs. All right, there we go. Dooch and dooch. Nope, that's not gonna go there. Get out of there. I think we've already established that I don't hate you, Hollows. I loathe you. You were here yesterday for that. We talked about this. That's true. Actually, no. I'm an equal opportunity bigot. I hate everybody equally. Yeah. God, you can't you can't pull your punches with babies. That's the only way they grow up big and strong. Also, kicking babies is a much better pastime. Yeah, babies will. They will fuck you up. Now, I need my fences and stuff. And my dirt. Let's actually run back up here to drop off the stone. Man, I feel sorry for anybody coming in like mid-conversation because they're gonna be like, why are we kicking babies? Why are we punching babies and stuff? Because they're the devil. Wait. Fence and sticks. Yes. Don't allow your babies to grow up as criminals. Swallow now. Oh, God, that's terrible. But so true. So much violence in the world can be solved by just being polite and swallowing. I need more fences. Always need more wood. Yes, I'm still watching YouTube. It's been 7 songs, and they're all like, are you sure you're still watching? Yeah, that's how music lists work, buddy. Let's go ahead, and I need my axe back. I don't know. Some kids are actually kind of cool. I am not 100% adverse to children. If anything, I'm adverse to what they become, which generally are terrible human beings and adults that just, why do you exist? You serve no purpose other than to be a huge pain in the ass. See, this is part of the reason why I don't believe in God. It has nothing to do with all the evil in the world. It has everything to do with all the stupid in the world. Fuck off with your cheap viewers. Just get out of here. I know, right? I would have reported them, but somebody else will. And I just don't care today. I just don't have the energy. So what I want to do, God, I went full pirate there. Never go full pirate. Yeah, that should work. Give me this. The hell did you do? I think Matt's about to get mugged by Karen. That's what I'm betting on. They're going to be like, do you know how fast you were going? You were going 15 miles an hour in a school zone. My child could have been killed if I had one. At which point Matt should just be like, you should have swallowed. Or, thank God you swallowed. It's kind of hard to tell which one. Thank you for your service, ma'am. Collect them screamers. They're onto him. Quick, run and hide. Leave him behind. If he's not fast enough to get away, that's his fault. No! That is not the hole I'm trying to make. There we go. So let's do... Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Exactly. Yeah, it's not always being about the fastest person. It's just about being fast enough. I need my wood slabs. Yeah, that'll work. And we can do something like, I mean, that's not incorrect. Also, I've got tree trunks for legs, so good luck outrunning me. When I can walk an entire forest in one stride, you're not winning that race very easily. I don't like that being there. Oh, but I do want like that, I think. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I can deal with that. And then we should put some fences in here. You never know when you're going to need a pocket bola. Just like you never know when you need pocket sand, honestly. I think everybody should have a little bit of sand in their pocket. Just, you know, for on the go. There we go. Let's take out these here. Throw some dirt in here. Actually, no, not dirt. You could do a couple more of... No, the wood stairs. Yeah, that'll work. I like that. And just kind of start bringing this... Whoop. Yeah, no, that'll be fine. And we'll clean up this. Like, part of the problem that I'm having is my FOV is still at the 90, so it doesn't always line up the way that it's supposed to. But yeah, this will work. And then there. There. do a couple here. Let's see, how is that looking? Let's get to a vantage point here. Yeah, I like that. That's looking a little bit better. That makes it look a little less constantly straight. Like, that was one of the problems that I was having, is that the way that it was, you had these two chunks here, or these three chunks that were just straight. So this really helps kind of break that up and make it look a little more interesting. I might do, like, this part's good, but I think what I ought to do is continue this down this direction a little bit. And let's get flatten this out so that it's about even with, yeah, here we go. You know who I haven't seen recently? This is going to sound weird. I haven't seen the trader recently. The trader hasn't been around at all. I'm not complaining. I just find it interesting. Let's pop these out, as well as these, so I can clean this up and make it look. I'm not complaining, I'm observing. I like the fact that he's not constantly going around going, huh? Huh? And then his damn llamas sounding like he's strangling them for his enjoyment. Maybe not that one. Maybe I'll just do that. And put some wood there. Look, Hollows, I filled in the hole. And oh God, they are terrible about that too. Oh, it was the same size as the one you were asking me to fill. So don't even pretend. And you weren't even asking, you were demanding I fill it. That's the worst part. Not even a please, just fill the hole. Like, I don't want to. Who are you? How did you get in here? And I didn't do it, you're right. And you know what? I feel fantastic. Let's give this a little bit of an overhang here. And there we go. Come up underneath and do this. Yeah, that'll work. Doot. I don't need the fences to be perfect. I just need them to exist. Yeah, actually, no, that one will be fine without it. Awesome. This comes around, and then we come down into here. Yes. I don't mind this chunk being a little bit bigger and straighter, because, yeah, trying to get it to curve with the space that we have would just be silly. So this being like this is actually kind of a nice way to break up the curviness, oddly enough. So yeah, this sort of meandering path that comes down and around and whatnot, and then eventually makes its way down to the mob farm. I like this. This feels a lot better, and especially because it widens out here. Let's put you in there, and then we'll take this out and throw in the dirt. Then you come down here and you've got, you come to the mob farm and what will eventually be the new dock for the boat. So yeah, that feels a lot better. I like that. Let's clean or at least tweak this up a little bit. And we'll get that going there. And once the grass starts growing in there, it'll look a lot better too. It's just going to take a little bit of time for all the dirt to get covered back up with grass. And awesome. This could be cleaned out a little bit, I think. Yeah. Then let's throw in some fences here. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. The next thing that I can do here is try and find my signs. I don't think I have any on hand. I know I had some, but I just don't have any at the moment. But what I'm thinking is that I could set up some signposts. Let's grab the cobblestone. And stone brick. I have an idea here. What I can do is go ahead and make some stone brick fence and some cobblestone fences, as well as some signs to make signposts for directions and whatnot. That is a lot more fun to walk down too. Like, that just in general feels more enjoyable than the straight line that we had. All right, I need some of you and some of you. And then some of those. So what I want to do is we're going to take the stone brick. I also want my let's see. And what do we want to call this? What is that? That direction is, I mean, I guess we could just say home. And then mob farm. I wish there was like an actual arrow. Like emoji that I could use for that. I don't know if there is or not. But we'll put a couple of lanterns on here. It could be worse. So that way you can at least see, you know, which direction goes where. I don't know. I might have to come back and fix that. Yeah, I like this. This could use a little more work in here, though, I think. Kind of clean this up some. Yeah, there we go. That feels a bit better. Like, I still want it to be... That's actually fine. I still want it to be a little bit of a flatter edge. But that works. Let's also get some fences in there. We can swap out to some cobblestone in here. And not as much cobblestone either. Like, this feels like it should be a little less run down. Although it's difficult to say. That's one of those that I could go either way with it. Like, it should be newer, it should be less run down, or it should be more run down because it looks like it doesn't get as much traction, or not traction, but traffic. But we'll see. All right, next up, we've got... I'm loving it. What's up here? So I was perusing YouTube yesterday as well. I usually do that when I'm really not doing much of anything else. And I'm going to have to come through so many places to pick up more stuff. But as I was doing so, I came across a video of a guy who had made a tank in Create that also housed his entire base. And I was absolutely flabbergasted by how amazing it was. Because it was full tank treads and everything. It could go up and down certain elevations. It struggled a little bit in certain areas. But all in all, it was really, really cool. And I looked at it and went, yeah, of course it's in Russian. And yes, I am a terrible, terrible human being. I did that entirely on purpose. And it felt so good. Nothing quite like making the hole bigger. Drop off. Actually, no, we're good. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to, oh, the other thing that I went and I looked up yesterday, because this has been blowing my damn mind, is how to make the train bogies. Because I could find nothing anywhere that would show me what to do. And I just so happened to come across this guy's, excuse me, good Lord. Came across this guy's video where he was showing how to make a 462 locomotive. Four front wheels, 6 main wheels, and then 2 rear wheels. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Let's watch it. And making a train is ridiculously easy. You just need a couple of things for it. And there are things that I don't currently have, but I could make. But one of the other things that I wanted to do was to go ahead and look at, well, what I should be doing is making a proper manufacturer facility for some of this stuff. As it stands right now, I don't have a dedicated area outside of this for a lot of what I want to do. And a lot of what I need to do. All of our manufacturing is happening in here, but I'm currently limited by the size of the area. And there are lots of situations where I could extend this up to another level, but I can't right now because, again, I just don't have the space for it. So I think it might be prudent to start looking at constructing a proper manufacturing facility, which works really well for the roads that we've already started to put in. Because what I can do is go ahead and extend this out and either over the mountain or through the mountain and come down into this area. I think this would be a good area. It looks large and flat enough, and I should be able to clear out enough space so that we can start putting together a proper facility. And it's just down the river from over here. So I still have access to water, which will be useful. Ooh, actually, that might not be a bad idea, is to put together a pumping station to supply water for a lot of what I want to do. That would be kind of cool, actually. Good. Okay. So this area in here is going to become the home of our manufacturing plant. Getting a walkway over here is going to be super easy to do. We're used to going through mountains of ridiculous size, so this one isn't too bad. In fact, I could even just go ahead and build a contraption to dig the tunnel out, which would be fine. But I absolutely need something. Like, there's just no question about it. I need a proper location for this. So let's also grab some more stone bricks. It's not what I was looking for. Fortunately, I can just drop off that. Let's there we go. And no, you're fine. And we should be good. I'll come back for anything else that I might need. And there's also, and I'll have to find where I have them. I think I know where they're at. Stone. You know what? Let's go ahead and grab these. Thank you. Grab a couple stacks of iron. All right. I'm actually really happy with how this is turning out. It's slow going, and most mega projects wind up being like that. They are going to be slow. Okay, you're still going. I was about to be like, you asking me if I'm still watching again? But I do like the fact that we are moving in a forward direction. I'm not going to do the train tracks just yet. Yeah, we should be good there. I think the rest of the stuff is up here. Nothing interesting in this location. Nope, okay. It's going to be fun moving all that cobblestone around. That's really where it's like, you know what? I should definitely get to the end, kill the dragon, and start collecting shulker boxes. Because I'm going to need it. I am absolutely going to need those. Not what I want, although I could take the... Yeah. I could take the... Yes. You know what? I will probably need the signs. I saw the signs. They opened up my eyes. I saw the signs. That is an old song. Well, relatively old. Like, that's one of those weird things that you don't realize is as you get older, the things that go from being contemporary to old, and then from old to classic. Because it used to be that stuff from the 50s and 60s was considered classic rock. And now that's like, hell, it's almost an antique at that point with the way that is. Don't need, but I do. But I want. I really should clean out my backpack. I need those. I should probably also grab the drawers. Okay. So we're going to grab our boat. And we're going to go down the river a little bit. Past this little outcropping here, or this little sort of... I can almost get a boat in there. Actually, I could get a boat in there. If I widen it a little bit better. And yeah, this area will be good. Here. This will make for a good little jetty. But I am going to take a quick AFK, and then we will go ahead and get started on our new sort of manufacturing plant, because we're going to need it. Now we're back, and of course the music's all like, oh, by the way, are you still there? No, no, that's just finished. The answer is yes, I am still here. No, I'm not. Yeah, so YouTube is doing that thing. Because of the fact that I'm using the Brave browser, YouTube, of course, is like, oh, hey, you've got an ad blocker going. So we're going to slow down and make it so that it takes longer for each video to come up. And I'm like, okay, I'm patient. I don't care. But of course, they're trying to trap me into revealing the fact that I have an ad blocker. And they're going to try and talk to me. You need to turn your ad blocker off. No, I fucking don't. There is nothing that your ads are going to actually be able to sell me at this point. I am too broke, and I just don't give a damn. Although, speaking of being too broke, in an ironic twist, I did finally get a chance to see Superman, the new Superman. And I have to admit, it's not as bad as a lot of people were making it out to be. However, that being said, I was thinking about it some yesterday and last night, tonight, or today. And while the majority of it is a good movie, I have a couple of sort of critiques about it. First of all, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, absolutely amazing. It was a brilliant performance. He did an amazing job. Absolutely a great Lex Luthor to be added into the annals of history, because he did an amazing job with that character. Lex Luthor is one of those that it takes the right actor in the role to be a good villain, and especially for the kind of movie that you're making. Now, Jesse Eisenberg is a good actor. I've seen a lot of his work. I've really enjoyed him, but he plays a specific kind of character, and he's good at it. There's nothing wrong with that. If you have a thing that you're good at, continue to do it. And if you get paid a lot of money to do it, even better. But being a Lex Luthor in The Man of Steel, he was miscast. That just wasn't his role. Now, on the flip side, there have been a lot of amazing actors to play. Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville as Lex Luthor was really, really good. He did a great job. And he fulfilled that role incredibly well. It's still weird to see him with hair these days. So, there's that. Another great actor, the late Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman was so good as Lex Luthor that he really shaped the character for decades. And then, of course, what was his name? I can see his face, and now I can't remember his name. He was on House of Cards and K-Pax. Why can't I remember his name? Probably because he's not really acting much these days. But he was in Superman Returns that Bryan Singer did. God bless it, that sucks. I know his name. Anyway, that's going to drive me up the wall. I've got to go check. IMDb. Just go there. Superman Returns. Kevin Spacey. God, that's irritating. He was a really good Superman as well. Or not Superman, Lex Luthor. He did a really good job in the role. Let's toss out the dirt real quick. So that I can make a couple of these. And then drop off a bunch of this for now. Definitely don't need the shears, but we'll keep them anyway. Oh, also, I can just drop these off. There we go. But honestly, Superman was a good movie. Good acting from the main characters. Actually, David Cornsweet, I really enjoyed his interpretation of Superman for the most part. Now, I will say that, and this is probably because I'm more of an old school Superman enjoyer, I felt that his Superman was a little too shouty. And he was missing that Superman stoicism that we're used to seeing. And that was something that was kind of odd to see, is just how visibly emotional Superman was outside of like being happy or hopeful or just enjoying the way that, you know, who humanity is. Because, and especially when you're looking at like the animated series, Justice League shows, that sort of thing, Batman always came across as, whoops. No, thank you. Superman always came across as somebody who was very in control of himself. Whereas this one felt very young still. And not just very young, but also incredibly inexperienced, and they definitely nerfed the hell out of him. But I did like the fact that he still went out of his way to not try and kill people. I appreciated that. It made him feel like, well, I know for a fact James Gunn absolutely just loves comic books. And he does a lot to try and make his comic book movies feel like comic books. Guardians of the Galaxy, great example of this. I need some sticks, and I have some sticks. I need some iron. Here we are. I'll stop using the diamond shovel for now. But overall, I did like the movie. They did a great job with it. It didn't feel like, you could definitely see some of the earmarks of a typical James Gunn production. The implementation of diegetic music into the scenes was really nice. which is typically a James Gunn thing. In some respects, it kind of also reminds me a little bit of Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie has a habit of doing that as well, where the music that you're hearing for the scene also happens to be playing for the characters. That's essentially what diegetic means, is that it's not a soundtrack so much as it is, you know, like something that the characters are listening to and we are listening to it as well. And I think overall the performances were pretty good. I wasn't as sold on the relationship between Lois and Clark as I could have been. And I think a lot of it just had to do with the fact that the way that they were written didn't give them a lot of opportunity to actually be a couple. Now, my sister's complaint for a lot of it was the fact that it felt like Superman and Friends, or more like Friends and Superman, which is fair. They did spend a lot of time with the Justice Gang, more specifically with Mr. Terrific. But that was fine, because I've liked Mr. Terrific's character for a while. I like his character design, too. I think they did a good job with him as a character. And the actor's really good, too. I've liked that actor when he was in, what was that, X-Men First Class as Darwin. They really did him dirty in that one. But that's okay. But at the end of the day, I don't think the Superman movie deserves some of the hate that it gets. I think what it is people are just really ready to be angry at comic book movies. They're also upset because Henry Cavill didn't get to reprise his role, even though they promised he was going to be back, and then all of a sudden, no, he's not. And that's fair. I know that, again, there were a lot of people who were upset about that, and it's a fair critique. They were selling that they were going to continue the franchise with him as Superman, and then just didn't. And that's like the second major franchise where they've ticked over Henry Cavill. And it's just like, the poor guy just doesn't seem to deserve it. But it keeps happening to him. They did it to him with The Witcher, which was totally screwed up. And then tried to smear him like he was some horrible thing that was holding the franchise back with his masculinity. And it's like, no, you don't seem to understand. Henry Cavill is a giant fucking nerd. The dude loves these things. Like, this is what he wanted to do. But of course, being a nerd is apparently a bad thing these days, even though everybody wants to be seen as a nerd. I don't understand that. I guess we're just circling back around to the jocks being the big guys on campus again. It happens. Everything's cyclical. Okay, this should be a large enough area to get started. We should have also enough dirt to get started here. Let's grab a couple more stacks. In fact, I could level out this section and be happy. Shoot. Nope, I want those. Those are mine. Like I said, this is a nice big flat area. Perfect for what I want to build. And it's time that we do it anyway. So, what I'm thinking about for this is that just about every form of machine and contraption for Create starts with one of two major farms. The first is the cobblestone farm. Like, just about everything starts with cobblestone, and you can get to just about everywhere from cobblestone. You can crush cobblestone down into gravel, gravel into sand, sand into dust, etc., etc. Cobblestone can also be regenerated into, or can be smelted into regular stone and then smooth stone. Bricks can then be made from that through the cutter. There's also, of course, the ability to wash gravel in order to get iron and flint. Then you've got your tree farm, and the tree farm is useful for, well, getting lots and lots of charcoal. But apparently you can compress that into coal and then coal into diamonds. So there is a large avenue of construction options that start with just two basic farms. And that's essentially what I kind of want to look at, is getting those two farms started, but in a meaningful way that allows them to be used as sources for everything else after the fact. And so one of the things that I want to start off first is most likely going to be the tree farm. So that way I can use it as a source of fuel, or better yet, now that I'm thinking about it, instead of using a tree farm as a source of fuel, I could set up a lava farm as a source of fuel. And that's actually really easy. Because I can use dripstone to fill in cauldrons and then empty the cauldrons. I will beat you with a white flower. And I can use the lava then to basically act as fuel for just about everything. Which is what I should be doing now that we're getting deeper and deeper into Create. So let's finish with this. Actually, I wonder. I just had an idea, and it's painful, so bear with me. But the idea is that a lot of the farms that I need to do require lava, specifically for doing blast furnacing kind of stuff. So what if you did... No, that wouldn't work. Never mind. I thought it would, but it won't, because of the logistics of it. Okay, you guys go away. Flowers go away. Wheat goes away. We got back the dirt we were after. Or that we used. I do have a whole bunch of copper on me. That's going to be useful. Like, I have a ton of copper. Some depots, a belt. Iron. Andesite casings, that's going to be useful. I need my wrench. Glass, absolutely need that. Brass ingots. Awesome. Andesite alloy, andesite. I'm just naturally going to be emptying this out anyway. Cool. Eventually, I will probably be bringing down a bunch of the stuff that I already have made. Just empty out a whole bunch of this, because I know I'm going to need most of it here anyway. Belts in there. All right, so I need, first of all, to set up some sort of power system. For that, I am going to want to do steam engines. So I need... create. Holy Jesus. I added some additional mods and it has thrown my list into chaos. Fluid tank. I need barrels, which means I need some of you and some of you and some of you. Let's add some extra. Do like 10 of those. I bet I don't have... yeah, I need to go make some copper sheets. Hey, welcome back. I have some copper, or I have some regular sheets there. It might not be a bad idea to actually disassemble some of my stuff. Now, we're not going to do it. Well, some of it maybe. Oh God, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. Gotta watch out for the stuff that comes out of my mouth. Oh man, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for the hassle. However, that's also hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, that, oh. Sometimes. Okay. Oh man. That is impressive. Again, sorry about that. Wow. All right, let's go ahead. Where'd my boat go? There's my boat. That does tend to make one a little bit nervous. Like, the hell are you doing? Why are you here? What do you want? I'm glad, though, it was a misunderstanding and not anything more than that. Yep. Um, so dumb. That's okay. This is okay. We're gonna do. And this is way more fun to run up. And what we're gonna do is, do I have any? No. Okay. Excuse me. We're gonna grab some of the copper ore that we have down here, and we're gonna have to make some actual copper ingots real quick. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm growing the vines, is because I need those. That's why I brought them back. But first, I believe if you use honey on them, or no, you need wax. Yeah, waxed block of copper. Oxidize. But yeah, and you can stop them at whatever point that they're at. So whatever version of that block is, you know. But I don't know how to make, I think it's with honeycomb, maybe? Yeah, I think it's with honeycomb. But yeah, something like that. You use that on the copper block, and it will keep it from oxidizing. Awesome. Go to work. Ooh, we're getting low on the charcoal there. Here, have some more. Your actual coal. Get you guys started. Do I have some more copper somewhere? Sort of. It's going to take a few, so let's head up here. See if there's anything that we can go ahead and steal from our base up here. And let's see. Well, have any copper in here? No, but I have some gold. Oh, I do have some copper sheets. That'll be useful. Also, I want to find my dripstone while I'm at it, because I know I'm going to need it. Sandpaper, absolutely. You guys, depot, sure. Redstone torches, absolutely. Some more charcoal. You guys are fine. You go up there. And what's in here? Was there anything left in here? Oh yeah. Nothing important. Okay. should be good. Yeah. I was thinking I might leave my tank here to recharge it, but we'll wait. And then should be fine on everything else. Let's see how we're doing on the copper. I need the cauldron, absolutely. Magma, maybe, I don't know. Wait. Give me that. Thank you. I know I have some, there we go, some dripstone blocks, but I also had some of the regular, dripstone, pointed dripstone is what I wanted. So that way I can get this started. Okay. Could have sworn I had more. Should bring not sandstone, but the sand with obsidian, maybe. Actually, I should crush some of the obsidian because I need that specifically for doing the train casings. If we go back to create, where is it? Yeah, so powdered obsidian gets used in sturdy sheets. Sturdy sheets get used for train casings. So I take a brass casing and I apply a sturdy sheet to it, and it becomes a train casing. Then I can add the train casing to a train stop, and that will then allow me to create the bogie so that I can start building a train onto that. And that will, at some point in the near future, be what we start working on. We should be good. I don't need any of that stuff right now. All right, let's go get our copper flattened. And then we can start working on the important stuff. And we're not so far away that I can't just come back whenever I need to. That'll take just a little bit. Are we 600? Nice. Oh, that reminds me. The other thing that I added was some chunk loaders. Specifically because of the fact that I wanted to be able to keep certain areas running while I wasn't right there. So I'm trying to find interesting. Okay. Not what I was looking for. Here we go. Okay. Oh, yeah. And that's one of those things that you wind up having to do so many odd tricks just to keep certain important things up and running. But they never really explain any of that to you, which is fine. But it just, the amount of work and effort that goes into doing this sort of stuff. Okay, so I need, how do I make, okay, how do I make one of these? Respawn anchor, which is crying obsidian and glowstone. Okay. I almost have everything I need for this. I just need to go get some glowstone, and then I can make the respawn anchor. And then the respawn anchor goes into this setup with glass, a shaft, and andesite casing. And at that point, what I could do is just attach it to this somewhere and keep all of this up and loaded. In fact, what is it? F3G? Yeah. So I would probably want to do one. I'd probably want to do one of the 3x3 ones, which is one of the brass ones, I think. Right. Value panel. Okay. So the brass one is probably the one that I want. Okay. So yeah, the brass one would be the one that I want in order to be able to keep all of this up and running. 3G. I do like the fact that they have the sort of debug views available. That is really, really nice to have. You don't have to go crawling through a bunch of menus just to turn stuff on. It's just, there. Oh yeah, you guys should be done by now. Give me that. Sweet. 58 sheets of flattened copper. Next up. Well, and that's just it too. Like, if you're running a server where chunk loaders are going to be a thing people are needing to use, I think it's one of those situations where you should talk to everybody and be like, listen, this is what our rules around chunk loaders are going to be. This is essentially how we want to run this. Let's agree on what gets a chunk loader and what doesn't. So like if you're running certain farms that need to stay automated the entire time, then I think it should be a communal farm that everybody has access to. Because at that point, everybody gets to benefit from that chunk or set of chunks being loaded all the time. Like a mob farm would probably be a good idea to a certain extent for a chunk loader, or at least one that you could turn on or off. Hell, specifically a creeper farm more than anything else. I think creeper farms should be something that has a chunk loader attached to it. All right. Back down the river we go. But in all fairness, I am also not a diehard Minecraft player. like a lot of others are. So take my opinions on the matter with a grain of salt. Huge grain of salt, like a heart attack size grain of salt. I need my glass. Let's make some tanks. Oh, no, barrels, not glass. Duh. Hey, Cruz, you idiot. Pay attention. There we go. Now I've got 10 of these. And what I want to do is I probably should come up with how do I want to do this? What I'm thinking is perhaps a water wheel situation here with a house attached to it, like you typically see, that'll act as the main drive for the water pump for the steam engine. And I need a large steam engine. Actually, yeah, just give me that. That is a lot of gold suddenly. Gold in everything. I kind of wish you could turn the dripstone blocks into the pointed dripstone. That would make a lot of sense. Carving it down, that sort of thing. I need the steam engine. Ow. Steam engine. Block of copper. Oh, really? Holy Jesus. Raw rubber. Where do you get raw rubber from? From sap. Okay, how do you get sap? Stripped acacia wood. Jungle log into item draining. Okay. Interesting. We will come back to that. Don't need you. I thought I had some sheets of gold. I was fairly certain I had some sheets of gold. Where are they at? Okay, so I'll have to come back to that. Damn it. I could. Where's my andesite? Andesite, andesite. Wherefore art thou, andesite? Aha, right there. Casings and grab actual andesite. Drop off some of this stuff. Right now, I don't need you guys. No, I have not watched the Minecraft movie. And that is very much on purpose. It didn't interest me in the slightest. I saw enough from the trailers to realize that the movie was not targeted at me. Nor did I have enough drugs to enjoy it. So, there's that. You. Okay. Interesting. You there. All right, so what I want is I need... Yeah, go ahead. I don't care about spoilers for a movie I'm not going to watch. I have some regular wood, don't I? Yes, I do. Perfect. All right, I need you. Absolutely. Let's get some of those going. Actually, let's get a few more than... Yeah, there we go. One of you, because I'm going to need a press. Water wheel. Large water wheel. Oh, yeah. That wasn't what I wanted. You know, and that is actually a really good question. Why would you go back? Well, and that is always one of those interesting logic questions for any movie, that something you could do in real life is easier in the fantasy world that they were in. Why don't they take advantage of that? Which would make sense. Why aren't you doing this thing that would be better for you? And a lot of it just comes down to because. Unfortunately, the story needs to happen. And if they actually thought about it long enough, the story would lose out against that. That's just the unfortunate reality of the situation. Nope. I need... Yes. Take the metal girders, stone bricks. I'm probably going to need more stone while I'm at it, but we'll start with this. And like, anytime that you ask the question of why are characters not doing X, oftentimes it just comes down to the fact that it's honestly because the story wouldn't be able to happen without. That's true. Again, like, now, of course, that begs the question. If you make an iron farm in Minecraft, is that iron a one-to-one analogy for the iron that is in the world? So that, I think, is the biggest question: is can the iron from Minecraft easily come back to the real world? All right, well, in that case, yeah, they're fucking stupid. They're idiots at that point. Stupid seeds, I don't need more. That's a little bit weird. But again, it's a movie. It's fun to debate the logic, but at the end of the day, it's a movie. Although years ago, after having started playing Minecraft, I wound up coming up with the idea for a story that I was kind of writing through my roleplay, where it was a character who just woke up one day in the Minecraft world. And that whole alone and not knowing what needs to be done, and there's all this weird stuff going on around you. And it was kind of a fun story because I went with a slightly more Twilight Zone-ish vibe to it. Less kid-friendly Minecraft bubbly vibrant world, and more like, you know, an actual Twilight Zone episode. It was a lot of fun, actually. All right, what I want to do here, what I need to do here, is I need to set up a way for water to flow. Oh, I know what I could do. Because what I want to do is I want to set up the house, if you will, for the water wheels. But I need to have a flow of water. That's true. Well, and there's all sorts of other spells that can be used too. Like, when you really think about it, what was written was incredibly limited only because of, again, story. Wingardium clock. Yeah, pretty much. All right, so I've got 4 of the large water wheels. There you go. And I could do something like this. Outline this. We put... Actually, no. I do want this here, and I want that there. Nope, give me those back. I need more dirt. And once I get this going, drop off all the flowers and stuff. All the hippie shit. We can make this look a little more natural. There we go. And I kind of want to come through here with cobblestone and line this, or even actually replace all of this dirt with cobblestone, I think. Do I have any on? I'm pretty sure I do. I love how there's just a cow and chicken chilling there like, okay, what you doing? What's going on with this? I do not indeed have any cobblestone on hand. I have plenty of stone. The reason why I want the cobblestone is because of its look. I'm gonna have to go get some. Let's go grab some, shall we? Because what I'm thinking of is doing cobblestone along here for the water trough, which will lead down into this area here. And putting the wheels up here somewhere after I make some sort of pond. That way they should be able to churn, or they will be able to churn, which is a big component of the power generation. And with the water wheels, I can at least keep the pump going for the water into the steam engine. So I can put that into the fluid tanks. Also, it'll look cool. And then from there, also use some of that for possibly keeping the whole thing powered, I think. No, I can't go that way because of the big crevasse that's right there. Yeah. Which is why I've been kind of taking the boat. So funnily enough, I don't know if you can. No, you can. Because I know that there's a way to make a drivable contraption. So I think technically you could actually make a steamboat. I don't know if the water wheels actually work that way, but I know you can at least make something like that. Right, because there aren't large bodies of water in Minecraft where that would actually be useful. Also, so it's a large body of water. And you could even make the waterways wider if you wanted to. It'd take a lot of work, but you could do it. There are a lot of places that are no place for a riverboat, and yet they still wind up there. Alrighty, let's grab some of our cobblestone. Drop that off, grab some more. Cool, there we go. Exactly. As the saying goes, everything's a dildo if you're brave enough. And, oh, it's raining. Nice. Yeah, this definitely needs some trees around it. There we go. That is a fun little run, though. That just feels better. And at some point in time, I need to widen this river a little bit and then start putting up some like lampposts or something. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea either. Get some leaf blocks and whatnot and put them up around there. Like this, honestly, even if I don't continue to stream this after a certain period, all right, no worries. But even if I don't stream this for, you know, after a while, this is still a project and map that I'm really enjoying working on. This has been a lot of fun so far, so I'm really, really enjoying it. Let's move you out of the way, as well as you. And let's light this up a little bit so that it's easier to see. There we go. Excellent. Perfect. Now I can actually see what the hell's going on here. So one of the things that I want to do is I need to make the water wheel house itself. But I want it to feel like it's been here for a long time. So essentially what I'm looking at making is a water wheel cottage, if you will. So let's look up water wheel cottage. And, oh, we've got some good examples so far. Ooh. I actually like the look of that one for Second Life, but looking at some of these, and I'll pull this up here in a second, and actually we'll just go ahead and pull this up over here anyway. So some of what I'm looking at here are some of these water wheel houses. And the one that I was talking about for Second Life is this one. Fortunately, my face is in the way, but this in here actually looks really cool. And I like the concept of it. And what I'm seeing in a lot of these, and of course, here's one in Minecraft. But what I'm seeing in a lot of these is that the water is coming from above. Let's see if we can get a better look at one. Yeah, something like this, where the water's coming from above and falling down onto the wheel. And I'm wondering if I can do something similar. So let's jump over to our creative world real quick because I want to play around with an idea. Yeah. Experimental, blah, blah, blah. Options. Let's go to peaceful so I don't have to worry about the monsters. Cool. Okay, so the idea is... make our little trough here. And... yep, that looks good. Create, I need the shaft. Yeah, that's fine. Large water wheel. If I put lights nearby, it won't. So, like, as long as I have some torches nearby, it'll be fine. And we should be able to do that. All right. Do the andesite casing. There we go. That should technically be all I need to do. Now, what I want to check is, what if I run... actually, no, not that one. I want the creative fluid pipe. Or fluid tank. I want mechanical pump, and then we'll go from there. But the idea is there we are. I'm also going to need motor and cogwheel. All right, awesome. That works. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. And again, this is just for the purposes of testing stuff. There we are. Go there. All right, so now I can go ahead and attach you there. All right, that does not work the way that I was hoping. Aha! That does actually kind of work the way, kind of. So if I do something along the lines of this, to get it started, okay. It's not perfect, but we're at least getting something. this. Nope. Let's do that. Kind of figure this out as we go. There we are. So that gets our water wheels going. Next up, I want to see how much what our speedometer. Yeah, speedometer and then stressometer. Do I not have I bet I don't. Nope, I don't. Where's the goggles? I need the goggles. Nope, wrong way. That way. Goggles, wherefore art thou goggles? There they are. So that's 4 RPM for this. Because for whatever reason, it's not also... Oh, because it... Okay. There we are. All right. So that'll get us 4 RPM. But how many stress units? That's 1,000. So 512 for each. So I would just have to increase the RPM. That's really not too bad. Now, what if... Let's do this here. Change those out. I need... Yeah, you guys... Let me kill these. I need... Where are you at? Vertical gearbox, which really is just a gearbox that can be changed. Oh yeah, and the wrench. Lord knows I need a wrench. Because I want to turn that. I should be able to do shaft, shaft, belt. And then I need the hand crank. There you are. We get the water started. There we go. It keeps trying to push that extra one out there for some reason. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, why are you like that? So I can at least get rid of those. $512 plus. Oh, I know why that's not. Well, and the funny thing is that just created a couple of source blocks is all. So I don't even need all of this. I just need the source blocks. Okay. Duh. But that's okay, because that actually works much better for what I want to do. So I don't need all of this in here. I don't need all this bullshit contraption stuff. I just need a couple of source blocks. Like, I just need something along here for the purposes of water containment. Yeah, basically like that is all I need. I had those fine. Then speed wise, we're 4 RPM. And again, 1000. So yeah, I have some wiggle room here for what I want to do. Okay. Awesome. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to take a short break because I'm getting a little hungry. So we're going to save and quit. We're going to head back to single player. Yes, I know what I'm doing. Generally speaking, I know what I'm doing. You going to load those? There it goes. While I am AFK, making myself something to eat, I'm going to go ahead and run the mob farm for a little bit. Oh no, I fell in, I got wet, it's terrible. See if we can get some more TNT out of all this, which will be awesome. And then when I get back, we'll see about starting work on the water wheel house. Options, normal, back to game. Alrighty. Tea break. And I shall be back in just a few. Nope. Cruz was making the meatballs because Cruz is hungry. Wants to shove meatballs in his mouth. There we go. Let us see. Options back to peaceful. See if we got anything. God, no. It's a one-man show. 31 gunpowder. Damn. Didn't get anything out of that. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. I need to make some alterations to the mob farm because right now, as it stands, there's two major issues. First of all, I need to make it 2 tall, not 3. Second of all, I'm not getting enough mobs to spawn. So I need to go ahead and essentially increase the amount of spawnable area that it has. So probably adding more floors to it. And then what I would like to do is add some fans to the sides so that I can push the mobs towards the water troughs and that way kill them faster. So as they spawn, they get pushed and then they fall and die and everybody's happy, especially me. I don't know, maybe. But let's start. Actually, let's do. Oh, for the creeper farm, just cats. I actually went and I looked up a tutorial on how to do creeper farms. And they're not super difficult, honestly. There we go. That should be pretty good. I can take this out and this out. And I'm thinking that we take shaft there and then our andesite casing here. And maybe do one over here as well for giggles. And we do that and that. So that will be our setup for the water wheel itself. And with 4 of them, each one producing 256 stress units, that should be a total of 2,048 stress units. Now what I want to do is I want to create... Wow, that's actually way farther away than I thought it was. I want to do up some... Can I only do... Oh no, I can. Cool. Drop that crap off. So wanted to go ahead and do... cobblestone sort of situation here. Let's grab this. There we go. And I want to do the same over here. And I figured that'll look nice when it comes to attaching this to the house. It's not what I wanted. I was looking at something kind of like this, I think will work. Okay. So it looks like in the case of most of the water wheel houses, and I was telling my mom about what I'm wanting to do, and she's like, ooh, that actually sounds really nice. I was like, I know, right? But in the case of most of these, they start with a stone base of some sort. Whoops. That's fine. I'll just put the dirt back. And I figure cobblestone will be a good base for this. See, you're what, 4? So carve this out. I have to make another shovel here in a second, I think. Yeah. Yes. I have extra sticks though, so it's all good. I make a couple extra, we're good to go. Boop. And I don't need this house to be super big. I want it to be of a size, but I don't need it to be super big. So something along the lines of like this, and then I will carve this out. Because I can put the front door here. Something like that. Then I want to line this up as the foundation. That will work quite nicely. There we are. Now, the vertical slabs, in fact, I may want to make some more. Yeah, there we go. This is where it's going to get a little interesting. I think on this side, we'll change it up because I'm going to need this. Yeah, that's going to be a little more interesting. This will work, though. I can, for the time being... Where's my wrench? Ah, there's the wrench. I can, for the time being, we'll pick out these. Yeah. Throw in these corner pieces here. Well, there goes some extra cobblestone. And I need to make some glass panes, I believe. I have the glass on me. I do not. So let's go grab it. And I want to do some glass panes, and then I want to see if I can somehow... Oh, wait. Glass panes might not work. Hmm. I need... That'll work. And I'm probably going to have a few sacrificial panes because I want to see if this is going to be suitable for what I want to do. Kind of not where you're supposed to go. And that actually kind of works. Okay. However, I don't think I want it to be that tall. Come here. There we go. Almost. There. Awesome. That's fine. Okay. Then for this, I can throw in some planks here for the porch. Yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna have to make some more of these slabs, but that's pretty easy. It's a good thing. Oh, better idea. Instead of those, we're going to go ahead and grab some oak logs. But I still have some. And then we're going to strip them. Yeah, no worries, man. Have a good one. Get some sleep, buddy. And do stay out of trouble. And stop pissing off strangers. Catch you later. As always, thanks for stopping by, man. Always good to see you. All right, let's get that in place. There we are. That's starting to look interesting. Awesome. Horse. I have a bunch of doors and I never keep them with me. That's okay. I do also have a whole bunch of scaffolding that I do keep with me. Stone. You're going in here for now. I need more slabs. Perfect. And then excellent. God, I love scaffolding so much. It makes life so much easier. All right. Just about have the base of our wheelhouse here. No, you guys aren't useful in the slightest like that. That's totally wrong. There we go. The other nice thing about this, once I get this in place, is this will also give me a wonderful overhang that I can put up here with the next level. Let's grab our glass pane and put it in here. Now, I do want some trap doors. What? That's that. Was it just... I don't know, I'll figure it out. Nope, not that. Oh, hell. Let's just look up the recipe while we're at it. Trapdoor. Oh, okay. I was close. And the trapdoors went where? Oh, I already had some. Duh. And what I'm thinking is we put... Oh no, that's not gonna work at all. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping I could possibly put... Hoping I could possibly put them in place there, but no, that's not gonna work. Let's get this all the way down here. And I'm trying to go for kind of a rustic feel when it comes to this wheelhouse. Something that has been here for a while, that was built and been in use for a lot of years. That's kind of the vibe that I'm trying to go for. That's what I was looking for. You again? And I am absolutely... Yep, knew that was going to happen. We need to get more wood. Fortunately, it looks like there's a large forest over here. Right. I'm still watching stupid music. There's some bees over here. Gotta be careful. Oh, is this birch? Well, some of it is. Nice. That was a good one, too. This will actually work out in our favor. Start planting more oak. We are. Awesome. Also, I don't know what I'm doing here when I can just boop, lay down. Sleeping bag. There we go. Back to work. Thank you. You. Beautiful. I don't need that apple anyway. Get some more. Throw in here. Awesome. I should actually stay away from saplings. They have a terrible habit of growing right on top of me. And, you know, just thinking about this, it might not be a bad idea to build the trough in such a way that I could use logs for it. I think that'll actually be kind of fun to do. Let's get you in place. Oops. There we go. Got it. I go ahead and we'll take those out and pop these in place. Yeah, I think that'll look a bit better. Oh, I don't have room for the dirt. It don't matter. It's just dirt. And then... boop, there we go. There we go. Hmm. Kind of interesting to watch the bees go flying around. Let's bring this across like so. Do the same thing for over here. And now I should be able to get the wheels back in place. Like that. And we are all set. So that will take care of essentially what will be our water wheels for when I get the trough installed. And then I can run the water over top of them. And that will generate some of our power. I'm liking the way this is turning out. I want a different color of oak, though. That's mangrove. Sparse jungle. Interesting. I'm specifically looking for is probably this dark forest. I'll have to look because I want some dark oak. That's what I'm looking for. And not really seeing, I think the dark forest is what I want. Yep, I think that's what I want. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go drop off some of the stuff so we can go hit up that dark forest. Drop off you guys. You know, I'll keep you on hand. Goes there, and oh, and I don't need the glass on hand either, but we'll keep it in our inventory anyway. Cool. There we go. Boat should be over here. Let's go. I love the way the clouds look. They give Minecraft a little more oomph and character that way. Got to watch out for this little island. But I want a darker wood to go to the top portion of the water wheelhouse, just because of the fact that right now what we're working with primarily is oak, which is a lighter color wood. But I want that darker wood because it'll contrast nicely with all of the lighter stone and whatnot that we're working with. And it'll be a different material in general. Oh, sorry, squid. And most of what we've been working with so far are lighter materials. Things like the cherry blossom trees. That's a nice light pink wood. Oak has been light colored, light tan. We've got a lot of stone and whatnot. And so it'll just be nice to kind of change it up with the dark oak color. Now to head straight north. Nice long trip. But at least it's going to be a quiet trip. And I'll have to worry about, like, what is it, the drowned or whatever. Oh, good. We'll fell this way. Lots of wood already. Nice. Beautiful. How much wood do we... Wow. Oh, hell yeah. In fact, I think we'll also go ahead and start a dark oak farm when we get back. Just regular oak. I mean, that should basically be good. That's a lot of wood right there already. I'm going to go run this upstairs real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty. It's oak saplings, not as important, but actually, let's go ahead and just use our trusty sleeping bag. Excuse me. Alrighty. Nope. And oh, you're gonna be a good one. Oh yeah. That's gonna be a lot of wood. Let's get... There we go. I think that should be enough for now. Not doing anything super duper, so we'll head back. Been some good music. I don't know how well you guys can hear it, but that's been pretty swell. It's kind of supposed to be like, I guess, dark industrial kind of music, but it's been pretty good. Nice background music, got a good beat. It's let's see if I can bring up. It's these guys here. What is it? Aim to Head is the name of the group here. Really good stuff. I've enjoyed it. And this particular playlist, they said, is, you know, for streamers and for videos, so I'll take it. One of the most difficult things to do is to find good background music without having to pay an arm and a leg for it. And if you're just starting out as a streamer, the last thing you want to do is be spending a ton of money on stuff that you can't necessarily afford. So this works out fairly well. This is Okram, that's right. Which winds up looking weird for some reason in certain light situations. And we're almost back. I wonder. Trying to think, like I'm trying to consider what sort of blocks that I want to use for the top of the water house. And I know I'm going to be using the dark oak. But more specifically, I'm wondering like what I'll use for the roof. I could go ahead and do a bunch of hay and do a roof like that. I'm not sure yet. However, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap this up for today. Got a good start here for tomorrow, where we can go ahead and just jump in and get right to work on getting that finished. And then once we get that knocked out, we can start working on setting up the first, well, the first thing that we need to set up is going to be the actual power plant, which is going to be the steam engines. And so I will need to bring in the water for that. And in fact, I could even go a step further and tie the water for the steam engines into how the water wheels get supplied, since I'll need to bring that water in this way anyway. So that could be a direction I go in, and then obviously setting up the lava farm so that I have enough lava for the whole thing, which will be fun. I might have to go get some more dripstone and whatnot, but you know, we'll get there eventually. Otherwise, though, I'm going to wrap this up for today. As always, thank you all for joining me on these misadventures. Always so glad to have you guys along for the ride. You all have a wonderful day. Stay out of trouble. And remember, if you get caught, I don't know you. I will catch you guys tomorrow.